Yeah, what I found interesting in the curatorial inquiry in the Ljubljana Biennial, and what I also find very interesting in practice of Slavs and Tatars as artists, is the work with what I would call the critical ideography. And ideography, if to cut the academic description short, is the science of understanding what the words mean and what agency they carry. And definitely for humor, satire, and irony, maybe the three most famous words that could be used in terms that could be used in description of dealing with politics in subversive or critical way. Um, the ideography plays an incredibly important role now because satire and irony in the context of contemporary media landscape now, in the context of overall proliferation of the information now, of inclusion as well of the memes and other jokes basically into the everyday environments. The ideography of those three words, I find them quite impotent at the moment because both irony and satire, for example, if you take the historical evolvement of the genre, they are quite political in the first place. They were meant to subvert, they were meant to open up the can of worms in power that power is always trying to hide and keep it closed. But my question and my critical inquiry exactly within the biennial, and I think the Slavs and Tatars nailed it here, is showing that if in the age of the satire and irony becoming less and less powerful and less critically enticing and less motivating you to actually look at the object or look at the artwork beyond its formal qualities, so beyond the particular articulated joke that has a beginning and the end, particular cultural context, which basically objectifies it into the agenceless object. So it's sort of deathignified. It's making out of the something that is meant to be a thing a still object. I think the biennial shows a lot of examples of that, of specific ways of dealing with humor already as an object, as something that actually does not carry political agency. And in a sense of the new words, and again coming back to the ideography that I mentioned in the beginning, my critical question and my interest actually in looking into how the curatorial inquiry was addressed in here is what that new ideograph or new term, or maybe it will be an old term, because for example, one of the terms that we discussed with Payam is stop. There's this word in Russian language called stop, which is quite hard to translate into English or any other language, which actually means imitation through reproduction of the same behavior without giving it out, without actually exposing yourself. Basically playing this role as you would play in the live theater. And maybe we need to look into the cross-cultural environment as well, and that's why biennial I think is a good opportunity for that as well, and to different cultural languages of approaching the this universe of humor without specifically trying to pinpoint the terms that are used already now or used before or used to have a political agency. Like again, I do think that irony, political irony, in the age of Kierkegaard, or satire in the age of the post-Soviet collapse, were indeed very important ways of dealing with power and subverting power and changing specific things and igniting the change in power. But at the current moment, I do believe that they're becoming more and more toothless, and they're becoming more and more incorporated within the normality of the everyday and be used for a very shallow ignition of very shallow small emotion. But it's not something that actually carries the critical agency for rethinking the narrative and the context in which you are, because again the amount of seconds that normally the public is spending on looking at the artwork by known researches everywhere is shortening every year. It's I think now 3 or 4 seconds per work, and with whatever conceptual build up to the work, it's becoming more and more complicated to focus on actually something that stands behind the irony or behind the satire. And that's what satire and irony is about. It's about light connection and providing you a light entrance door into something that is meant to allow you to rethink the normality around you. And in that sense, the inquiry within the question of the satire is so important. Whether and maybe actually the answer in the biennial that satire is toothless and that satire is not meant to be used anymore as the political language. Maybe it is already flat. Maybe we need to search somewhere else in order to change politics or to ignite some sort of way of political thinking alternative to what it is now. And there where I'm coming back to that question before. So what would be that new word or the word from the another context or something that would be maybe a chimera or a weird Frankenstein of combinations of those understanding of what is political agency of what we call humor now. What would that be? That form that can actually withhold that agency. So that's the question. And it could be that the answer that it's already impossible. But we have to talk about it. We have to really talk about it, and we have to talk about it critically. Because to pretend further that the irony or satire, for example, that they worked before, the way they worked before, that and to extrapolate that work into the future, I do not think that the path that will allow for the emergence of that agency in the relevant way, in a relevant and critical way to address those critical questions and those crises that we are going through at the moment, and which some of them are addressed quite directly within the biennial too.